Alright, so I wanted to compare Hayley making a snatch and missing a snatch. So these are right around, I'd say like 95%. Her best snatch is 70. I think right now she's in shape to hit 73, but this is 65 on the right and 63, or 68 in the other video. So let's go over sort of step by step. So on the 65, which is this one, I had cued her, so she had missed 68. She's been catching a little softer than I would prefer, which I think is she's not aggressively finishing with that upper body. So there's a little bit of a slow turnover at the top, which then creates a soft catch as well. If you can focus on that really aggressive upper body finish, you won't have that soft catch in the snatch. At least that's my perspective on technique. If that's not your perspective, then I don't care. All right. Anyway, so let's play this in full speed. Okay, so let's just go through it. Similar positions. Good. I'm just going to sort of play around and see if I see anything specific myself first. So if you see with Hayley, so, most of my lifters, their legs are long enough that I will tell them to push their knees back to really load the hammies. Hayley, Hayley doesn't really push her knees back because her legs aren't overly long in comparison. If you watch, she goes back a little bit, but it's mainly out. Okay, but the bar's path is very straight here. Okay. Now the only issue I have with that is I don't really like the transition period past her knee as much as I do in some other lifters. So let's stop here. Right around the knee. Pretty similar angle. I still think on the 68, she's a little more forward on that pole, just a little bit. And we got to remember she's a 48, so these things really do come into play. So right as she's getting into her power position here, this is where I think you can really see it, is that because she was forward at that 68 off the floor, her chest, she's getting more upright here in the 65 for a much taller finish, whereas on that 68, her chest is still a little bit too far over the bar at this point. I mean, I want it over the bar all the time, but not through that finish. It's got to clear back, and she's doing a better job on the 65 with getting that chest up for a tall finish than she is on this 68. Okay, so this is the contact period, And you can really see what I'm talking about here. On the 68, her chest is still in front of the bar. On the 65, her chest is cleared. Left heel's up on both lifts. And she and I have talked about this. This is something that we're going to have to fix over time, not immediately. It's going to be something that we really got to take care of through mobility work and some other variation lifts. But you can really, really see here, she's like straight up and down with that chest there. Just a little bit in front there, going through that chin. Let's see. I like to find like that last ground contact position through the feet. This one's this is pretty similar here. I want to say the 65, she's a little bit more behind the bar. They're pretty similar though. I'd have to have like a computer image for this one. Here's where Hayley's got to improve, is that she does jump a little bit, and I think as she gets her snatch, as she gets up over 75 to 80 in the snatch, this is where her improvement's going to come from, is she's going to jump a little less. Again, pretty similar. Bar's very tight on both lifts. Let's see right past the head there. But you can see here actually, those hands on the 68 the hands could be bringing it in tighter and then turning it over. Like she's got to think, like, turn those hands over, put the bar in place, where on that 68 she's sort of waiting for the bar to get there, but she's got to put the bar there. The 65, she's already in the 68. The 68, she's a little bit soft with that turnover, and the 65 very aggressive with that turnover, and she's tight right there. The 65 and gets right out of the hole. There's no soft catch. 65, there's no turnover from the shoulders, and the hands stay almost in front of her ears. So the main things I'm seeing here between her success and her failures is that just as she's passing here, past the knees, you can see the knees, she's shifting forward onto the toes a lot more. So let's watch it in slow-mo. So you can see her left knee there on the 65. She's shifting forward, but it's much more controlled. On the 68, she's shifting forward a lot more aggressively because it's just a little heavier, and then that leaves the chest forward a little bit longer than on the 65. So right there is the difference in the lifts, is the 68 just a little bit forward. I still think it has a lot to do too, so it's past the knee, she loses that chest forward a little bit. And then on the finish with the 65, she's much more aggressive with her hands turning over and putting the bar there. 68, it's almost like she's waiting for it to get there. So, she's just, the 65, I cued her right beforehand, finish aggressively, finish tall, finish aggressively. And the 68, she had 2 fails there, or 2 or 3 fails there. I wanted to see if she could correct it. I didn't really give her any cues, and I think we can see the issues going forward.